of the week. If you are a regular listener to Evening Extra, of course you are, you may remember on the programme last week, I think it was Wednesday, I came into the studio on my bike. Yeah, I came to talk about the problems us cyclists face in cycle lanes here in Belfast, particularly the city centre. But after years of motorists parking across one cycle lane near the Dublin Road, quite near the BBC here, the Department for Infrastructure has stepped in and it's now installing a permanent barrier to keep cyclists in and car parkers out.
Until now, there were rubber bollards along Hardcastle Street to separate the road from the cycle lane, but that didn't really work because motorists would simply drive through them and park on the other side. Let's speak now to Meg Hoyt from the Belfast Cycle Campaign, which has long campaigned for improved cycle safety here. Meg, thanks for joining us. So,
Hi, great, thanks.
Have you seen the new construction on Hardcastle Street? Can you describe it for us, and what do you make of it?
Sure. Yes, I can. I cycled it this morning on my way into Queens. And so at the moment, it looks like it's still under construction. And there's much sort of stronger enforcement. So the bollards, there's less space between the bollards now. And it's actually there's essentially a fence, like a high-vis fence, that is protecting the cycle lane from the rest of the street. And we're hopeful that it's going to go all the way along. At the moment, there's only a particular section that's been protected. But the difference already is remarkable. So it's definitely a positive step.
So was it totally pointless previously to have the cycle lane there if motorists could drive between the bollards and park and block it anyway?
I mean, yeah, it is super frustrating. I always want to see cycling infrastructure. We always want to promote cycling infrastructure, but sometimes bad cycling infrastructure, as you say, is almost worse because cyclists sort of have the illusion of protection, but then they have to come out into traffic when they're going around parked cars, and that's almost more dangerous. So it was very frustrating to cycle along that cycle lane. There were bins in it as well as cars, and often a lot of broken glass and rubbish as well.
Meg, we asked the Department for Infrastructure to come on. No one was available, but I'm sure they're listening. Let me tell you what they have said. They have said that particular construction at Hardcastle Street will be completed by the end of next week. They say they have commissioned a Northern Ireland-wide active travel delivery plan. Basically, just bear with them. They're doing something here. What would you say to the department this evening?
Well, I'd say we need to move a lot faster. So we've had the Belfast Cycling Network plan since about 2015. It was published. That's almost 10 years ago. And then we had the delivery plan for that cycling network that was published in 2022. And still, we have seen almost no movement on safe, connected infrastructure for urban cycling. So, I mean, I understand that maybe these things take time, but you've had time. And it is really, given the context of cost of living crisis, climate emergency, we really need to see action on this. I mean, this is an affordable, fun way to get across the city.
But in terms of changing what's there at the moment, Meg, you know better than me, there's not much spare money and there's no minister to make those types of big decisions.
Lack of minister is a serious problem. I mean, long term, you could look at devolving some of these responsibilities to local government, so to city council, who may be able to move more quickly on some of this stuff. But also, some of the cycling infrastructure is pretty cheap. I mean, these are plastic bollards at the end of the day, right? Resurfacing roads and building new roads is a heck of a lot more expensive than simply putting in some solid cycling infrastructure. So, and to be honest, I mean, we have some cycling infrastructure there. It just needs to be protected. So if you just sort of protected and connected what we already have, I mean, you'd be on your way to a cycling network pretty quickly.
By the way, I can let you know, you were wondering about, the work that started. At the end of this statement, it says about Hardcastle Street, work is currently underway. The barriers will be finished. The work will be completed by the end of next week. So if we were chatting this time next week, it would all be done. They'll all be finished.
It would. And I think you
Don't
could
panic.
move at that pace.
That was just Cecilia wrecking the studio. Sorry, carry on.
I think you could move at that pace, throughout Belfast. It wouldn't take much to get a really significant cycling network up and running in Belfast. And for a city the size of Belfast, that's massive. And it enables a whole range of people to get on their bikes, on their scooters, what have you, and travel safely across the city.
OK. Meg, thanks for speaking to us. Meg Hoyt from the Belfast Cycle Campaign.